Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to Speed Gaming 6. We have got Group F action between Homemade Beer and KillerApp23. My name is Quizball. I am joined today by TJ Maelstrom. How you doing, TJ?
Hello, Quizbowl. How you doing today? This is an exciting match with a pretty high stakes here. Things are
Yep, it's
gonna
a
get
great day.
crazy right here. If
Yep.
yeah. So, want to tell how it is?
Yep. Let's go ahead. So Group F here is in a very interesting situation. So Killer App has 4 wins already. Homemade Beer has only 3 wins. With a victory here today, Homemade Beer forces a 3-way tie-break scenario, which means Homemade Beer, Killer App, and Pennyroyal Oil will all have to face against each other in order to figure out who goes to brackets.
That's great. That's hilarious.
But on the other hand, if Killer App can stop Homemade Beer today, then he will move forward as the first place seed, Pennyroyal Oil taking the second place spot here. So Homemade Beer is in a win or go home kind of situation.
Really, really tough situation for Homemade Beer. Killer App is pretty well. Honestly, Killer App just has a stake in this too. He doesn't want to lose this either. If he loses this, he goes from being in a position to clinch to a possible elimination situation.
That's right. So let's talk a little bit about the mode today. We got an interesting mode. We've got Ambrosia that was rolled here today. So we can already see in their setup screens, they're starting out with the sword. The uncle's going to tell us a little bit about where the boots might be in the seed, and then we're going to have guaranteed pool items on every single boss.
The vaguest of vague hints on Uncle.
Yeah, it's basically limited to either whatever dungeon it is, or if it's in an overworld position, either Light World, Dark World, or Death Mountain. So,
Hey, the boots are in Link to the Past.
but still, it could influence these runners' decisions when it comes to that.
Certainly will. You always want to get those boots, and you never know if they're required until you see if they're required. That is a visual. That is a visual thing to see if boots are required.
All right, looks like the runners are all readied up in the racetime.gg chat. Got the file names all entered, so we should be seeing action commence here momentarily. So, what kind of seed do you think we're going to have here? Any good item locations you're hoping for?
I can tell you we'll have an ambrosia seed.
Are we going to have an ice rod hunt though?
Yes.
Oh, we're here. You're hearing it live here first. TJ predicting an ice rod hunt.
Yes, Ice Rod is going to be in Link's house, and we're going to find it right away.
Or not.
Still have to hunt for it. It's a fast hunt. I didn't say it'd be a long hunt.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you didn't say that. All
I
right.
did
What
say
else
that.
here?
Words in my mouth now, eh?
Yeah,
This
okay.
guy over here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Question check. Can we have hammerless? Unfortunately, no. There's no way to do this hammerless, but it can elude us for quite some time. There's some pretty bad locations that hammer can wind up in. I've seen it in places like Misery Mire before. You can find it in Dark Death Mountain.
You can find it in a box. You can find it with some locks. You can find it with your socks.
All right, there we go. So the runners are all primed and ready to go.
I'm hearing Donkey Kong Country.
Yep, that's the MSU that one of the runners has chosen to use here. So it'll be cool to get some DKC music.
Yeah, I believe that was Killer App since unfortunately Homemade Beer will not have usable audio for this, but we got Battle of the Bottles here. Bottle versus can. Check this out. Ketchup bottle versus soda can. Complete with floating disembodied sword arm.
I do like the matching green soda can and the green hearts. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Oh, Eastern Palace.
That's really close. That's accessible. Well, that's a glove.
Wow.
Okay.
So early stuff here in the seed.
I saw Uncle walk out with a sword. So that means we'll have Master Sword by the time we reach Uncle, because they start with one. Whenever you see Uncle walking with a sword, you know he's holding it. And there it is. There's your Master Sword. What an opening. And because we get those gloves, you also don't really have to worry too much about bombs and escape. This is a standard escape. So you will not have immediate access to the back of escape unless you get a bomb. However, with that glove, you can go right back through the grave and everything will be fine.
Yeah, it's always the worst feeling when you have to leave those 3 chests behind, and when you leave those 3 chests behind, you hope that the glove's not back there, but we don't have to worry this time. Looks like homemadebeer was checking the prize pack. Looks like the guards aren't holding the prize pack that's going to give them a bomb.
Nah, they have to wait for the rats. Or another chest. Or you can just not worry about it because you have a glove. Easy.
Yeah, if you have the opportunity to get a bomb and check that back of escape, probably the runners are going to want to see if maybe they can pull a 3-bomb pack in some of these chests coming up.
Well, it's not there. Just a bunch of money. You have no use for it. Looks like we got a little bit of an audio desync issue. We do apologize for that. We'll see if we can do anything about that. If not, we apologize again. Breezing right through this escape with this Master Sword, though. And there's the map, so... that's one fewer check we'll get to make on the way there.
Yeah, and then the other thing is that there will be a small key either in Zelda's Cell or in Dark Cross, so we got 1 chest left to see if we're going to pull a 3-pack of bombs.
I want to see a lamp. I want to see a lamp in here.
That's right, if we do get a lamp, that does put Iga 1 into logic.
Right away, I want to see it. Do you want to see it? I want to see it. Let's get it. That's not a lamp,
Powder.
That's magic powder.
Well, that's interesting. We got a fetch quest that could come up here if we find the hammer sometime soon.
Surely that hammer won't be in here. Definitely not, no.
Yeah,
I've never seen a stacked escape before. Like, how often do you see a stacked escape?
Well, it happens more often than you might think. Well, we do know that we're not going to get any other items, so we're going to have to see if the runners are going to try and farm up the rats and see if they have a bomb pack today.
I assume they'll like shoot 1 or 2 with their sword beams. You know, just get that out of the way. Pretty easy. This place and Misery Mire are the 2 places you actually want sword beams. A few other fridge locations, I'm sure. Not a whole lot happening right here. Going up the hallway, pushing the doorway out, the secret passage, going into the dark. We don't have a lamp. How is this possible? Well, it's standard. And in standard, you just get the light cone no matter what. And we did learn that the boots were in Eastern Palace.
Yeah, there were earlier versions of the randomizer that gave you the light cone in all of the dark rooms within the light world, but that was changed somewhere around V18, so it's been like this for a while.
I like it better this way. KillerApp paying no mind to the rats. Homemadebeer is going to take a few swipes and gets a bomb for his trouble. So there you go. Persistence paying off. You're going to want bombs one way or the other.
And not only is it a pack with the bombs, it's the pack that exclusively has bombs in them. So if they wanted to farm up, they could probably get a full pack of 10 if they wanted to.
Plenty of rats, and there's Bob's for Killer App, so he won't miss that either.
Let's see what we get for our troubles.
Access to that area of escape. Hooray.
The single arrow.
Hey,
oh, there's your ice rod.
What'd I tell you, huh? What'd I tell you, huh? Ice rod hunt over. Bam. Get it done. Peace. See you later. Not gonna happen today.
Yeah, now what happens is they check the map in the Dark World, and it's going to be a pendant on Turtle Rock. But...
come off it. Green pendant, and that's what that's where your mirror is going to be or something, right? Yeah, okay. That's how it works. That's how this works.
Looks like both our runners farmed a few more rats, got up to 6 bombs. That's going to serve them pretty well in the early Kakariko checks.
Indeed. Wait, did you say Kakariko check? A book. There's a book. If Homemade Beer goes to Kakariko... Oh, okay. I didn't actually want to make any promises I was going to regret. I saw a pendant in Eastern Palace, but I didn't see which one it was. It was blue. Okay.
Yep, and it was crystals on Hera and Desert. Just regular ones, no red ones. Looks like Homemade Beer is actually going to be setting up for some hula hand shenanigans here. Just use a bomb to skew up your vertical pixel position and fall into the hole. And you instantly fall into a room that has 225 rupees in it.
There you go. That would explain why he left Sanctuary, because I don't actually expect him to go to Kakariko Village. If I know Homemade Beer well enough.
Just a piece of heart there in the forest.
And look, we're going to Eastern Palace to get the boots. Maybe.
Yeah, the only thing that can mess us up here is if it is the Armos Knights, because remember, the bosses all are holding one of the pool items, and it is possible that the Armos Knights just so happen to be having those boots.
That is correct. There is one more thing that could mess this up. Homemade Beer has literally half a heart, and one tap will end this whole trip and we'll have to come back.
Well, just got to make it to Saha's closet.
Yeah, he'll be fine. There he goes. Okay, now don't misplace that bomb, because I don't want to do that. The other green pendant, it's an ice palace. Okay. So, yeah, the ice rod looking more and more important by the second. There's a mirror. Oh, boy. So this trip is... Yeah, this trip is worth it, even if the boots are in on Armos Knights. Getting that mirror right away.
Not much here in Blind's basement. Let's see what's in the top here. More nothing. More piece of heart.
Sure, both runners are really comfortable having that ice rod in their inventory. It's always better when you see it early. It's one of those items that's only logically required for one very late advanced dungeon, and just it really it's really the sour point of the game in itself when the ice rod is the item du jour. Oh, there's a bow for Killer App. That could be dangerous because we did find an item in the first chest here for Homemade Beer. So if the boots are on Armos Knights, Killer App can go into Eastern Palace and clear the dungeon, get that in one trip.
Yeah, and usually that's the case here with these early Eastern Palace tips, is you're kind of committing to doing this in 2 parts. So the hope here is that we don't have to make it 2 very slow trips and without the boots.
Particularly in the Ambrosia Seed. But at least you know, if you find a second item before a late chest in this dungeon, you can just leave.
Yeah, but we know how Rando works. That second item's going to be in the vanilla big key chest. You have to go all the way to it.
At least then you'll have the big key, and can get back here pretty easily looking for your boots. Meanwhile, Kakariko was only served to give Killer App a bow, but it is a bow. Even if you walk out of Kakariko with only a bow, I still think that's a win. And there's a compass, so we'll have to go to that big key chest after all.
Yep, that's going to be the big key, and then the big chest is our last opportunity.
Yes, where the boots are. Maybe. Possibly. We saw it already, the big key. That's 2 items. Sorry. Wait, hold on. That must have been a... that must have been the big key in the first chest. I thought that was money. I must have been mistaken. Oh.
Well,
We'll
meanwhile,
see.
on Killer App's side, we saw that there was nothing of interest in the library, so we're not going to have to come back with the boots and bulk that down.
Killer App is going to Eastern Palace with that bow, secure in the fact that he will get that one way or the other. Now, if you were Killer App, would you go right to Armos? In the off chance that you wouldn't have to go to the big key chest in this one?
Well, let's see. There is an item over here, right?
Yes.
I probably would go ahead and go to this item because you are taking a gamble, and you know one of these items is the boots.
And they're on
And
Armos nights. And
That's
Homemade
right.
Beer knows that now. Let's see what Killer App does. So now Homemade Beer has to look for a bow, so an ambitious opening play from Homemade Beer, and with a 33 etc. % chance of failure, hits those low odds. But he'll get that bow in some kind of short order. We'll have to walk all the way back to Eastern Palace and see what happens after that. But Killer App is going to get them. He's going to go through at least most of the dungeon, at least to the boss. He may be willing to skip that big key chest.
Yeah, I think if he does go ahead and skip the chest and finds the boots on Armos, I think he would probably be comfortable going ahead and leaving the last item behind in case it's something bad like the 50 rupees it was.
Oh, we know it's 50 rupees. He doesn't.
That's
But
right.
if he's skipping that would be an ambitious gamble for him, especially this early in a location like Eastern Palace, Pendant Eastern Palace, that which you'll pretty much never come back to. Well, you do have a mirror, so if you ever get to Palace of Darkness, coming back here to get that one chest is less terrible.
Yeah, meanwhile, we saw Homemade Beer do Mini Moldorm Cave for very minimal value. I think just a piece of heart to finally bring him up to 4.
Everything's just locked behind those boots, right?
Well, we're heading up to Ice Rod Cave, so we'll see if Homemade Beer can find something up there that turns us around.
Not gonna be boots.
Now, it's interesting to know, Killer App decided to go straight to Eastern Palace, did not stop at Saha's Closet, has not picked up that mirror yet.
There's a hammer.
Oh, the hammer.
That is a good pickup for Homemade Beer. We're just looking for a Moon Portal Dark World access now.
Yeah, an Ice Rod Cave is one of those checks that runners typically try to skip if they have the opportunity to do so. So I wonder if Killer App might think that he's found enough value between the boots and some of the other items that he may put the Ice Rod Cave off for a little while.
Well, I think with the boots coming out of Kakariko, he'll actually be more likely to check it.
That is correct. Yeah, the boots does make Ice Rod Cave a bit more palatable to get to.
Yeah. And there are other ways of getting to Ice Rod Cave besides just walking over there. You can actually, if you really want to show off, you can use the whirlpool next to Sanctuary, splash the lid into there, and get right over there. But you have boots, so why would you do that? Just go. Just run. Just run. Especially if you do a mini Moldorm Cave with it. And Killer App getting the bad news that those boots will be on Almost Nights, but he has the bow, so it's not the end of the world. And Ether on Man Under the Bridge.
Yeah, and we saw that there was nothing of interest on Lake Hylia Island, and so just the Ether Medallion for that fake flipper trick.
It's not a bad pull for Homemade Beer, getting the hammer out of Ice Rod Cave there, but I don't think Killer App is going to be missing that versus Homemade Beer not getting to the boots in a timely fashion. Killer App setting up some arrow detection with the Igor here, shooting it into the, making it stick out of him so that he knows where it is.
Yep, very nicely done there. He's already up the stairs.
Not gonna go chasing after that. And I don't think either have checked Lumberjack. And considering that, the boots are pretty accessible in the seed and kind of early, considering the fact they're in Eastern Palace with a bow available, I want to take a look at that, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Probably after Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, with the mirror in tow, Homemade Beer may be thinking to check that after maybe giving a peek over to where the Cape Cave bumper ledge is.
Yeah. So it's working out very well for Killer App, getting the earlier you have the boots, the more of an advantage it gives you. And since both runners have knowledge of the boots, and homemade beer having gone into Eastern Palace already, we'll have to make that return trip. I wonder if he just nopes out of Kakariko once he finds the bow. Do you think he does that? There they are.
Maybe. If he had the Moon Pearl, I think that might be a valid play, because then you would go over and you would go ahead and do Pod, and then you can combo Eastern into it.
You know, we didn't get a pedestal check despite getting the book. We don't know where a lamp or a fire rod is in those boots. Chat pointing out correctly that they are not in logic.
Yep, and KillerApp now going ahead and talking to Sahasrara, getting the green pendant info, and will be more importantly picking up that mirror.
So a lamp gives us several things. It gives us access to Aga. It gives us access to pretty much all of Death Mountain logically with that mirror and hammer. So I'd imagine the next thing you're going to find is either a flute or a lamp.
Yeah, although with the knowledge that that all you're missing is a lamp to put yourself back into logic, you may just sequence break up the mountain.
Correct. There's a mushroom. The mushroom has not been turned in yet. That may be where that is located. And looks like KillerApp is... Yeah, KillerApp going right there.
Yep, and he's cleverly doing this right after a save and quit, so KillerApp may be keeping the option where if this is absolutely nothing, hard reset the game to get the mushroom back. Although he's got powder already, so there may not be much of a reason for that.
No, just let it go forever. Homemade beer, we'll be able to check the magic bat with that hammer. And there's a bottle, so that's another check in Kakariko that KillerApp has opened. KillerApp has opened up, but probably won't get there for some time. Probably not until Dark World access, especially with a mirror. Once you get into the Village of Outcasts, you can check that sick kid area with just a simple flick of the wrist on your Y button, and there you are.
Alright, looks like KillerApp's going to go ahead, check the dam real quick, but then I think he might be chaining this into a Desert Palace play.
He does have the book. You are correct.
Got Blue Mail upgrading his Sprite can to a Pepsi can.
Could be RC Cola. It's also blue, red, and white.
And there's a second bottle.
Yeah, there you go. Just enough magic for the magic bat, and our homeboy has just 3 bombs. So,
oh, that's right. KillerApp has not made it to Mini Moldorm yet, so he's going to go that way first.
Much
might be getting the hammer.
We don't have a fire source for Desert Palace, so coming to Mini Moldorm Cave first is probably a wise decision. But that lamp could be in Agina's cave.
Lamp or fire rod could be in Agina's cave, or in one of the first chests of Desert. Although it's only one item on Desert because the other one has to be on Landmo.
Well, fire rod doesn't do much for us logically. The only thing it does is put the boots into logic.
Puts the boots into logic and makes Desert Palace clearable.
Correct. Looks like homemade beer may actually be going back to Eastern Palace, clear that out, get his boots.
Yep, making the beeline.
And here's KillerApp getting his hammer. He may decide to sequence break Death Mountain with this. And looks like that may be what's happening, but this could just be a Bonk Rocks and Lumberjack check. May be willing to check the bottle in Kakariko in case nothing is found, but I think a mountain play is coming. Okay, so nothing in Bonk Rock, so Boot's not putting anything into logic just yet. Although with that Desert Palace out there, we don't know. Alright, so KillerApp is going to turn in the bottle on the sick kid. Possibly even do a pet check. And there's
Well,
red mail, so nope. That's nice, but
brings us up to
wow.
the Coke can sprite.
Yeah.
Oh, he wanted to chain that with the powder check as well, which we
That's
already know is
great.
going to be 3 bombs.
Right. Beer is setting up his Eastern Palace Dark Room, gets it pretty handily. Be interesting to see what Homemade Beer does after this. He has pretty much done what Killer App is doing right now, albeit a little bit slower without those boots. And this Killer App does not have enough Zora money, so this is either Lumberjack and or the Mountain. Probably now.
Yeah, and since Beer did the Houlihan room, he does have the option to go to Zora if that's something that's on his mind.
Correct, and this is a Lumberjack peak.
All right, let's see if we can figure out what this is, because we're only going to get a couple pixels.
There's arrows, just some rice. Killer App setting up for a mountain play, while Homemade Beer getting his boots off of Armos Knights with a nice quick kill, and the blue pendant for his trouble. To what extent that is useful, we do not know yet.
Yeah, we're probably going to get Dark World access, probably hit from the mountain. There's 8 checks when you get over there to the east side of Death Mountain, and then there's 3 more inside of Tower of Hera, and 3 more on the west side of Death Mountain. So probably we're going to find our progression pretty soon.
Right, and then probably, honestly, the fire source is probably in the desert area. If progression is in fact up here. Because that's all we have left that's in logic without access to dark rooms. So there may be actually a fire source in Desert Palace, which means probably won't have to double dip it. Maybe on the ledge.
Killer App showing off some nice spin speed.
Oh, there's
there
a
it is.
lamp. There's a lamp. So that means there's a flute down below somewhere. And Killer App sees that lamp, must realize that.
Yep, he peeked inside Spectral Rock. I barely missed it, but it looks like it's important enough. Killer App's going after it.
It was in the silvers.
Silver is definitely a nice pickup.
Groovy. Homemade Beer about to make the same play up the mountain. So let's see, Flute or Fire Rat? No, Flute more likely in Desert Palace. Although Moon Pearl could be in Desert Palace as well, and then the Flute could be someplace more sinister. But I don't think Killer App is ready to bank on that just yet. We're going to see a map check here. We got, oh, there it is, Pendant, Pendant Turtle Rock. There it was. So much for that ice rod.
Yep, and the 6 crystal, the other red crystal I saw down there on Swamp Palace. I did not see where the other red one was. Ether tablet check. Forgot about that one.
There's more bombs. Homemade Beer. Did he pick up the lamp?
Oh, what is Beer doing? He got the restart point, but then it looks like he's noping out and going straight to desert.
Desert Palace may have a flute. He hasn't done this check yet. Yeah, I believe he's looking for the flute. We've upgraded our ketchup to a bottle of hot sauce.
The Tabasco Verde.
I love salsa verde. Do you love salsa verde?
It's alright.
Mm.
Personal favorite is the Chipotle one.
Chipotle salsa verde is not bad. Right, let's see what's on the ledge. And flute! There it is!
There it is.
Uh-huh.
Now, Homemade Beer might be kicking himself here in just a little bit, because he's going to use that flute to get back up the mountain, see the lamp, and realize, oh man, I could have done this all in one trip.
Yeah, that's very true. Which is what KillerApp must have reasoned as well.
Okay, KillerApp getting ready for a 1.5 heart Moldorm fight here, but I got every confidence he'll be able to pull this off.
I don't think he's gonna do it.
Well, all it takes is 3 of these sword spins, and oh no!
This is where you fall down. Oh, you got plenty of hearts to recover. He'll be okay.
Yeah, because he, he brought the switch down, he can go and grab those pots.
Ow, right in the kitsa. Whoop. Yeah, watch it. All right, take number 2. He's got this. No, there it is.
Yep, better the second time. 3 sword spins.
What are you talking about second time? That was only 1 try. And then you can't convince me otherwise.
Yes, first try, that's right.
First try. First try. Congratulations, KillerApp, killing Moldorm the first try in Tower of Hera. Excellent.
And getting the red boomerang for his trouble.
Was that item number 2 or item number 1? Because I don't remember seeing anything else in this place. Well, if he leaves, we'll be sure. Yeah, he's out. Okay, so that was probably both items, unless he just really doesn't want to do the basement. Let's see what's let's see what the rest of Death Mountain is like. Probably gonna find the Moon Pearl up here, more than likely.
Well, just some money there on the floating island, so we know we're not going to have to mirror back from the hookshot cave for that.
We may find Titan's Bit. I'm pretty sure we're going to find Moon Pearl. Honestly, actually, we may find Moon Pearl on the pyramid. We just have, yeah. homemadebeer is going to check Agina's cave and then activate his flute, and then go get the lamp and probably feel really bad.
Yep, just a big 20 here in Agina's cave.
Alrighty. Well, there you have it. There's Flippers.
Flippers. So now the waterfall fairy becomes a viable check.
I don't think homemadebeer did that. He went right over to the hobo and got the ether medallion, excuse me, right off of that.
Yeah, you could have gotten to the waterfall fairy out of logic with a water walk using the boots, but homemadebeer didn't have the boots at that time.
Yeah, I imagine he may have if he did get those boots in the first trip of Eastern Palace. But he has a flute now, so getting those fake flipper checks won't be so hard to set up.
Yep, and here goes KillerApp. Gonna be checking the guy under the bridge and getting his ether medallion.
Correct. At least scouting this out.
Now the good news is that homemadebeer has that flute activated, and so his mobility is going to increase a little bit.
Oh, what is this purple ketchup? Oh, come on! Maybe it's barbecue sauce? Homemadebeer going to set up water walk, it looks like.
Yep, nice little trick here. If you just hover over the pit and dash down out of this cave, you arm the water walk, and then you activate it by jumping down here.
Yeah.
Just a moment.
Without the Moon Pearl, this is the necessary way to do it. The only way this could be ruined is if he gets a 4th heart piece inside of the waterfall cave, and then he'll just sink right down into the floor. But we're gonna get simultaneous checks here. Actually, homemadebeer is gonna get in there first.
You're gonna get there first because he's dashing.
Haha! I got there. And there's our Moon Pearl.
Moon Pearl! Look at that sink.
Mm-hmm. There you have it. This may prevent homemadebeer from getting up the mountain anytime soon, but he knows that mountain is fully in logic now. And he knows that Moon Pearl is not in logic without these flippers.
Yeah, you can even see the subtle difference that Homemade Beer was able to get to Zora a little faster because he was water walking versus KillerApp having to swim a couple ways there.
Right. Well, now let's see what happens. KillerApp has full Dark World access with having the mountain already finished. Homemade Beer has not gone and finished the mountain yet, but may choose to just not be in Logic for a while. KillerApp can actually go into Swamp Palace, take care of that. Can do Desert Palace as well. And let's see what he decides to do. It doesn't look like he's going to Desert. We'll not find his flute for a little while, but we'll eventually get there, I'm sure. And looks like we got a second. I did not see the second red crystal. It looked like Pod. It looked like Palace of Darkness.
I did see green pendant over there on ice, though.
Yes. We got that from Sahasrara. Hey, look! Johnny Two Bombs! How you doing?
Homemade Beer doing the secret handshake. So is KillerApp.
Oh, man. Johnny on hard times. Johnny's Love Shack. Yeesh.
Yeah, with 70 rupees to boot.
Maybe next time, Johnny Two Moms. I think Homemade Beer is checking the Bombos tablet right now. Which is a very reasonable thing. Wow, they are doing the exact same thing.
The sync is real.
It is. Wouldn't it be funny if they just did the exact same things for the rest of the seed? They just had a completely different opening. Well, KillerApp could actually go into Swamp Palace right now if he chose. Whereas Homemade Beer cannot. Hey, it's a hook shot.
Hook shot, wow.
Now KillerApp will definitely do Swamp Palace shortly after.
Well, it looks like he's going over the desert. I think he probably got the sense that there was the flute was over there because of the logic breaking.
That is correct. So Homemade Beer knows those flippers are in Logic somewhere because of that Moon Pearl. KillerApp will be able to get the single dip of Desert Palace, and that is probably the primary advantage that KillerApp has over Homemade Beer right now, is being able to single dip these dungeons that Homemade Beer will have to go through twice, because Homemade Beer went to Eastern Palace without the bow, needed the bow for the boots that were on Armos Knights. And then he went to Desert Palace after climbing Death Mountain, knowing that the logic had to be somewhere down there. And ended up finding the flute, but left a lamp on top. So went into Desert Palace without a fire source. So we'll have to go through that again.
Now, something that could bail Homemade Beer out of that decision, though, if Homemade Beer finds the Titan's Mitts, he'll be able to flute over to 6 to the mire area and mirror back, cut out the front half of Desert Palace.
Right. I wonder if that's what Homemade Beer is looking for, is waiting for the Titan's Mitt to get back up Death Mountain.
Yep, because then he could do all Death Mountain in one trip as well.
Yeah.
Especially now because of that hook shot. Looks like it's just a single green rupee on the dig game.
I expect Homemade Beer to go to Palace of Darkness right now, right after this.
No, it looks like he's making a play towards Village of Outcast, trying to get that spin speed going. There it is. So this could be a Thieves Town play.
We know Thieves Town is a crystal. We know it is not locked by anything in the dark. That may be what Homemade Beer is trying to gauge here, trying to figure out where our light source is and then go to Palace of Darkness, because it is a lot easier without. It is a lot easier with, excuse me. It's a lot faster without, if you don't look for a lamp. And there's KillerApp's flute, and we'll go and finish Desert Palace.
Yep, and this will be our chance to see what the second item here in Desert Palace is, because Lambo is holding it.
Ah, it looks like we got our audio resynced. Hooray! Thank you very much, Professor Renderer, for that.
Yeah, shoutouts to our tech crew doing an excellent job here, keeping us all synchronized.
And I don't recognize this Donkey Kong Country track, so it must be from 3, because I've never played 3.
Correct. Yeah, that's a DKC3 track. I think it's like in the second world, like the foresty ones.
They're all foresty ones!
Well, the foresty part of DKC3 anyway.
Okay. Like I said, I've never played it. Wait, there's only one foresty part? How could it be Donkey Kong Country without trees? Foresty, jungly, whatever. Half magic on Land Molus for Desert Palace. That's our second item in there because that was on Mr. Bossington. Meanwhile, Thieves Town not doing Homemade Beer any favors, but will have full access to the dungeon. Will not miss anything in here. However, has missed several things up Death Mountain. But at least we have the knowledge of knowing that Titans will not be up there. But likely to be in Swamp Palace, yes?
Yeah, that's the only thing that could kind of mess up Homemade Beer right now is being forced to go up the mountain in order to get those Titans mitts. He's right now making a play to see if he can find them anywhere else except Swamp.
Yeah. Luck has not been on his side today.
Yeah, and you can't really call any of these bad decisions. They're just not correct decisions.
Unfortunate? Not even really unfortunate, just more... Yeah, there's a word for it, I'm sure. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Non-fortuitous? Optimal, non-fortuitous? Whatever the opposite of fortuitous is. Still no help for Homemade Beer in Thieves Town.
Yeah, anecdotally, I've been noticing that Thieves Town has been lacking a lot recently in seeds. I don't know if that's just personal confirmation bias or if it's just other things that are keeping it.
You know how Thieves Town is. It's only necessary when you don't have to do it. It looks like this is the pot play for KillerApp. I think Homemade Beer did a quick check of his item count in here. I was not prepared for the menu, so I did not know to look in the dungeon item spot, but... There you go. There we go.
Yeah, but by finding an item there, we know that the small key is in the big chest, and the last item has to be on blind.
So no different than regular Thieves Town routing today. So after this Thieves Town play, Homemade Beer will know that the next bit of logic is probably up Death Mountain. Because there's a lot in Pod that you can do without the lamp, but there's a lot you also need the lamp logically for. We do have a bow, so that may count for something, but once you get into the real meat of the dungeon, like, at least 5 of those checks, 6 if you count Halmasaur himself, will be locked behind a fire source. We are bow locked in Pod, by the way, according to KillerApp, finding the big key here. But an early bow kind of facilitates this easy trick.
Yeah, so that's one option for Homemade Beer. Another option I'm thinking is you might want to do like the northern Dark World checks. Look at Bumper Cave, do the Graveyard Ledge, and then it could potentially kern jump over to Catfish and then go to Pod that way.
It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, it looks like checking the C-shaped house real quick. Oh, look at that.
There's a fire rod. Finally, some good luck for Homemade Beer.
And that's going to change his routing a little bit, I wonder, because he's probably going to thinking about going ahead and taking care of the Skull Woods now.
Yes.
Yep, straight into Skull Woods we go.
And typically, finding keys on the Bullock side of Palace of Darkness give you further access into the dungeon itself.
To be fair, there's keys on the Bullock side, the non-Bullock side, right in their entrance. There's keys everywhere in Palace of Darkness.
I like what Homemade Beer's doing here. He's going to the front and looking for the one item before going to the back. Because if you can skip that lower level chest, it's It'll be pretty easy going through it. But he's gonna have to hunt for a key back here, so it's gonna take him a bit longer than just checking that lower chest and not finding the item yet. For all we know, it could be back in the first room of that second household there.
All right, we got bailed out with a key there, so that's good. There was an outside chance that the small key that he needed was going to be back in the vanilla big key chest, which would have kind of locked him in here, but we were able to avoid that. There's our one item.
Okay, so now we can just go complete the dungeon, and he'll be out, and then we might see a pedestal check.
Yeah,
then we'll see for sure how much that ice rod is worth.
Although at this point, what could be on the pedestal that that these runners would need?
Relevant Misery medallion. This can't be Canis Samaria. So you might actually be right. There's probably nothing on pedestal.
Yep, mitts can't be locked behind it either. So yeah, right. It would just be one of the coins.
Oh yeah, this pet is almost certainly dead. So this looks like it might just be Titan's Mid for go here.
One silver arrow to the eye of King Helmasaur. KillerApp takes down Pod.
The big eye. And nothing doing in Palace of Darkness today, but that is a red crystal, if I did see that correctly. And Swamp Palace is right down below for KillerApp, and we'll probably find Titan's Mid in there. Maybe we'll need this key from the Gibdos. Oh, KillerApp is looking for more stuff in here. Okay, went right into Armos Knights. Not Armos Knights, excuse me, Helmasaur. This is an ugly, ugly moth. Ugh, gross.
Yeah, that turquoise is not doing any favors here.
No. Like teal. That had to be a fat figure. That map check.
Yeah, I was, like his screen faded out, and I was so scared that he swept.
I was a little nervous. And no help from homemadebeer here on Moth.
But we won't say no to that crystal. It gets us 1/7 further into getting into GT.
And we are going to get a pedestal check. There's the Canis Samaria. Okay.
Yeah, Beer's looking for a lot more items where the location for, and heart container on the ped.
As predicted, pedestal is dead. Those mitts have to be in Swamp Palace, don't they?
Yeah, and Beer. I guess in Beer's mind, the flippers could have been on ped, but we know that those are elsewhere.
That flipper, because of where the Moon Pearl was, there's no way they could have been on pedestal.
That's right, yeah, and Ice Palace being one of the pendants as well, so...
Looks like Beer's going to clean up these checks, but all KillerApp really has to do is go into Village of Outcasts, get his fire rod, and pick up the mitts somewhere along the way, and then we'll see what Misery Meyer has to do.
Yep, nothing there on Bumper Ledge.
That'll do it for Palace of Darkness for KillerApp. Finding a Canis Samaria, and nothing else, but probably not sad to see that Canis Samaria. The worst thing that can happen now is a really terrible location for whatever the Misery Meyer medallion is in Turtle Rock. Oh, there's a shovel. Hello.
Uh-oh.
That's fun.
Interesting here. Homemadebeer is going to mirror back to King's Tomb. Maybe our mitts are here. This is always a really weird place to get the mitts.
But it's, like you know what? It happens a lot. You see them here a lot. And they're not here today.
But not today.
Not today. Homemade beer doesn't really have very much of an advantage at all. There's nothing he really has that can really be considered that much of an edge over Killer App, because that fire rod is at a very easy to access location. And if Titansmiths are in here like I predict, then that's even worse for Homemade Beer. And here is a current jump, gets it one try. Very nice.
Very nice. Yeah, I haven't seen that setup before. That's a pretty cool one.
Yeah. And this is likely going to be the catfish check, and we'll see where he goes after that. Probably Palace of Darkness. And there's Quake, so that chances that we may be in go mode after Village of Outcasts just went up a little bit.
Exactly 1/3.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what our other scam fish has for us. Lots
Fortunately,
of cash.
nothing. Killer App is on the warpath right now. Just completely smashing through everything.
Beer forgot to turn in the mushroom earlier. Is now getting his free blue potion in addition to paying for another blue potion.
Buy one, get one free when you turn in the mushroom. Looks like he's going to polish off Desert Palace and is really putting off the mountain, and I don't know why.
Yeah, at this point, I think it's, he's just doubling down on that play.
Meanwhile, Killer App is edging closer and closer to those Titansmiths, which very, very well could be in here, and if not, will more than likely be on the Pyramid Ferry, so somewhere close. Because he pretty much seen everything else.
Yeah, and you can see he's set up this diver down here to go check left side swamp, kind of banking on the other Titansmiths being here.
Well, they're not catfish, they're not graveyard ledge, I think any other possible place they could have been has been exhausted. So they're either here, or they lead to the Titansmith from here.
The only place I would think the dig spot, because we just got that shovel off a graveyard ledge.
That is the only thing. That is the only thing.
And yes, the flippers are on the mountain. Homemade Beer is kind of refusing to go up there. We're thinking because he wants those Titansmiths.
Well, they're not in left side swamp. I don't think either runner has even checked the pyramid.
Yep, that would be correct, because Homemade Beer mirrored away from the catfish to go here to desert. So we'll probably see that when Killer App finishes this and goes in to get the big red bomb.
Homemade Bear, unfortunately, not having enough magic to get the one cycle Lammo, we'll have to meatloaf it. And it's just half magic.
Thinking, where was that 30 seconds ago? Could have used that.
Alright, so Killer App was counting items. That's why he skipped that chest. Knows that the last thing has to be on Argus here. Always pleasant to see whenever people remember it's Ambrosia, And now we're going to get the pod play from Homemade Beer.
Yep, and he's going to do this completely in the dark, only being able to use the fire rod to light up one of the rooms, and so he's going to do this a little bit slower than Killer App.
Well, two of the rooms. There's two dark rooms of torches in that dungeon.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking more of just the ones with the chests in them, but... Killer App going for the 2 hooks and spin strat here on Argus. Very nice to see.
The Raisin Bran strats. You know why I call them the Raisin Bran strats?
2 scoops.
2 scoops!
Gonna do 1 silver arrow right to the eye.
There it goes. And the Titan Spin. And it's a Titan Spin. And it's not the Titan Spin. But correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's the second red. As I'm pretty sure Palace of Darkness was the other one. And I know this is one of them, so...
Yes, so if with 2 reds, we can go and get the Pyramid Fairy and check what's on the Pyramid Ledge. So we got 3 more spots here. Those Titans can still be.
And it looks like that's exactly what KillerApp is doing. I'll have to apologize to my tracker because my vision is very poor. Oh, Titansman has to be here, right? Either here or on the pyramid itself.
or the dig spot. That's the last place.
The dig spot. I keep forgetting about the dig spot. It's the only chance Homemade Beer's got at this point. Well, that's not true. Oh, there's a sword, so that's
Tempered.
nice.
We'll take it.
Yes, we will. Spike Cave is undone. I just realized that now. Spike Cave is undone. There's the third battalion.
Yep.
Okay. Spike Cave then. Or the dig spot.
Yeah, KillerApp's got a few other places to check as well, though.
Yeah.
So KillerApp could be going up there to check Graveyard Ledge himself.
Right.
Oh, this is Catfish first, probably.
Well, he might do either or both.
Oh, he's going this way first.
So who will get that shovel? And then probably route it in along with Village of Outcasts, get the fire rod. So if the Titansmen are beneath the dig spot, there goes Homemade Beer's one advantage.
So I will point out, Homemade Beer was fighting those turtles, pulled out the fire rod to light the torch, but instead of hitting the torch, he hit the last turtle to open the door, and so he didn't have to light the torch.
Delightful, good eye. That's hilarious. Trying to get a spin speed to increase the hitbox of the hammer.
Yeah, that up hitbox is terrible.
It's bad. It's real bad.
Doing a nice little despawn there. If you manage to get the 17th hammer hit off, you can despawn any fireballs that are on screen. There's KillerApp's shovel. Now he's thinking about if he's going to be digging things up.
Homemade Beer is going to go back at the pod, I hope, and get that red cane. He's got the red cane already. He got it already. Okay. But that's all that's in here, so... KillerApp is going to dip Skull Woods before finding the fire rod, but the fire rod not very far, so this is going to be a bit of a loss, but not too bad.
Yeah, KillerApp's going to find the piece of heart and know that the second item is on Mothula and going to nope out of here pretty quick.
Yeah. And we'll probably immediately come back after finding the fire rod. Oh, there's the can of Samaria for Homemade Beer. Okay.
KillerApp's going to go towards the vanilla big key chest. This is a valid strategy here. KillerApp is doing this to make sure that he has a key in order to get out if he drops into the basement. And he can make it a little faster with this red cane, but it is going to be a bit of a time loss.
Alright, so we know Turtle Rock will not be necessary for anything.
So yeah, it's those hunt through those mitts continue. So if Homemade Beer can get his hand on those mitts relatively quickly, I imagine he'll go straight up the mountain. That could put Beer back into the running here.
Right, we'll be able to go mode Misery Mire with that. That's about it. Ice Palace is not necessary. Turtle Rock is not necessary. At this point, it looks like it's just a 50-50. It could be in Spike Cave. It could be in the dig spot. And Homemade Beer has a lot of work to do if he wants to reach parity with KillerApp at this point.
And just a reminder, Homemade Beer is fighting for his life in this tournament. He wins and he forces a three-way race-off between himself, KillerApp, and Pennyroyal Oil.
Not to mention the fact that KillerApp got that sword off of the pyramid, and I don't think Homemade Beer will get that.
Yep, that's correct. If he finds Titan's mitts here at the dig spot really soon, he's going to go up the mountain, going to find the flippers, and basically be in de facto go mode.
Right. The good news is that it can be either here or in Spike Cave, and I think this is all Homemade Beer has left. And they are in Spike Cave.
Big 20. Homemade Beer showing a little bit of frustration with those slashes, and I think, yep, now it's time to go up the mountain. And he's going to find his lamp. He's going to feel really behind. I just hope that he stays up here and does Spike Cave. Which is going to be a little difficult. Yeah. He doesn't have the cane. I believe the blue cane was up here, so he may decide to stick around once he finds it.
I mean, he's got potions, so there's that. But you're right. He is. Is he going to hover this? He might try to hover this. And halfway, almost, and nails it. Good job. Well, if nothing else, you can say he got a hover on restream. Well done.
Meanwhile, I want to shout out the mining melancholy going on KillerApp's side.
When meme routes go wrong. All right, there's a lot of this mountain that Homemade Beer can do. It's not a lot of incentive to go to Spike Cave right away, but there is the possibility.
Yeah, I don't remember where the blue cane was, but if he does pick it up here, if it wasn't Hera...
Yes, it is in Hera. That is correct. It is in Hera, yeah.
That's right, big chest, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that might cue Beer to go ahead and try the Spike Cave.
Meanwhile, KillerApp continues to look for the Titan's Mitt, and we know that they are more than likely in Spike Cave. The only other thing that could be in Spike Cave is... well, nothing. Because we've done all the fetch quests already.
Yep. Beer showing off a little bit of time save here. He has the hook shot, whereas KillerApp didn't have it for Tower of Hera, was able to do the Hera pot.
Yes. The big chest will have Berna, and then we'll proceed upwards. KillerApp doesn't have very much left to do either. So when he goes back up Death Mountain, he'll just go right to Spike Cave. He'll have to go through... he'll probably be going through Skull Woods first. Maybe taking the dig spot before going, but, you know, you can do it either way.
Yeah, since KillerApp's already been up the mountain once, he's probably going to try and exhaust everything on the lower part of the map before going up again.
Yeah.
Very nice blind script here for KillerApp.
So far, so good. It looks like Homemade Beer... is going right to Spike Cave.
Oh, here it is. This could be it.
It would be very funny if Homemade Beer got into go mode before Killer App, just from this garbage.
Yeah, and then homemade beer will not be having to do left side swap, so making up time there.
Well, here's the thing. We still don't know what Misery Meyer
There
requires.
it is.
We still don't know. If it's ether, sure, fine. If it's not, well, we're still gonna have to look for medallions. We know Quake is in Swamp Palace. We know that for sure.
Yep,
And I
and
think
Beer pulls out the flute, and you know immediately the thing on his mind is, what is my Meyer medallion requirement?
I'm drawing a blank to where Bombos was. I remember seeing it opened, but I didn't commit it to memory.
Oh, and it is Bombos to get in.
Yeah. I know. Where was that? It was Pyramid Fairy.
Oh,
Okay.
the pyramid. Okay, so
That's
now
a
homemade beer has to go up the mountain.
That is a significant advantage for Killer App. A significant advantage for Killer App. If it were anything other than Bombos, Homemade Beer might have a bit more of a chance. But now that we know Mr. Meyer is Bombos, that is the toughest medallion to require. Quake is in the opening of Swamp Palace, and you can just go mode the rest. But Homemade Beer could be looking through all of Swamp Palace, all of Ice Palace before he gets that Bombos medallion that was in Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, and now he's going to completely full clear the mountain. I mean,
Yeah.
depending on what Turtle Rock requires to open, he could get twisted off and go into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, this seed has been really, really unkind to Homemade Beer. Just supremely bad luck on his side.
So if you're rooting for homemade beer, you're hoping that Bombos is also the medallion required to get into Turtle Rock.
And there's Mothula for Killer App, and I believe between that and the dig spot, Killer App has exhausted his checks. Might actually last location in Spike Cave, but because of the position that Homemade Beer is in, a completely reasonable last location.
Okay, here's our here's our hookshot cave. We know there's not really going to be too much interesting here.
Maybe a sword, possibly.
Yep, or the
There's a
cape.
cape. It's handy. And Killer App is going to Spike Cave to get his miss here.
Okay, moment of truth. Is the medallion gonna mess him up here?
Oh, man. Oh
it
no.
is. Yeah,
Nah, it's really like, wow, this... There is some kind of entity looking out for Killer App today. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oof.
So Beer's gonna go here, get the 7 out of the Paradox Cave, and then likely gonna head right over and go into Turtle Rock.
Meanwhile, go mode for Killer App.
Yep.
Woof. This is a huge deficit to come back from, and I don't think Homemade Beer is gonna make it. I don't think so. I hate to say that right now, but I don't believe he's gonna make it back from this. It's
He just found the flippers.
The hits just keep on coming. Like it's just not lining up for him. Nothing is hitting.
Yeah, Bombos is basically acting almost like one of those ice rod hunts. I mean, there's just a couple of things that are going to be behind it in here in Misery Mire. So, for as far as Homemade Beer is concerned, it could be anywhere. Yeah, and I think you can see those frustration slashes there as he waits for that bomb to blow up. He's found his flippers. He knows that a lot more of the world just opened up to him, and he's got Turtle Rock staring him in the face.
Yeah, he's got the flippers and everything else. And there, I think this is. I think this is him opening up Turtle Rock. Oof. Oh man. Well, depending on where this big key is, KillerApp may actually be in Ganon's tower before Homemade Beer even leaves Turtle Rock. I really don't know what else to say. This is incredibly unfortunate. It came down to medallions here. Oof.
Yep.
Oh, man. Oh, the only thing that could possibly be in Turtle Rock that would help Homemade Beer at all would be another sword. But he'll get that he'll get that other sword on the pyramid once he has to go get his bombos. That's gonna be necessary.
Yeah, and Beer's going to want to go ahead and clear this entire dungeon out, which means unless he finds a sword in here, he is looking at a Master Sword Trinex, which is no fun either.
Probably a hammer. More likely a hammer Trinex.
Yes, Master Sword Trinex basically means Hammer Trinex.
Yeah. And there's the item. KillerApp is hoping that key is not in the cutscene chest, and I don't think it'll matter. He's just so far ahead at this point that I don't think it's gonna take so much misfortune from KillerApp for Homemade Beer to catch up. And if from what we've seen out of Fortune today, it is definitely not favoring Homemade Beer, and is definitely a big fan of KillerApp right now. Lady Luck is on his side.
Oh, there's that sword.
There. Well, there's a sword, and that's pretty much it. That's all that's gonna be in here. The rest is gonna be junk.
Yep, and it'll be an increasingly frustrated Homemade Beer as he realizes that it indeed was those flippers that he just pulled out of Paradox Cave that is the key to his progression here.
Secret of the Ooze over here in the lava. At least we're getting looking at this. This is nice. Sometimes these pallet shuffles really do cool things. I did not get to see what that bunny sprite was. Was that, oh no, I know what it was. It was a jar of mustard.
Yeah, it was yellow and small.
Yeah, like it was yellow, it was small. It's the opposite of a cat. It's mustard. Has to be. It had to have been mustard.
Alright, KillerApp getting ready for the Vitreous fight here. Gonna pull out those silver arrows, just gonna machine gun down the itty bitty vitty committee and 2 arrows to the big dog, and we'll be done here.
This is academic at this point. Just ridiculously simple.
Well, that is 7 crystals for KillerApp. I believe there is a game that we like to play here when one of our runners has 7 crystals.
Yes, Link to the Past Randomizer.
Yes, but in addition to that, there are more than 20 chests. What is it's 22, right? 22 chests.
22.
Yes, 22 chests in Ganon's tower that could possibly contain the big key. So get your numbers in the chat right now. Which chest of the 22 do you think is going to have the big key? TJ, what's your guess?
Can we just play Yahtzee instead?
Okay. Well, all right. If I roll 5 d6s, we'll have my number, which is always 2. So I have 5 2s on my dice here, and coincidentally, that is the number of the chest that I always guess. Chest number 2.
Actually, can I go for a 4 concealed pair double Yakuman?
Go for it, dude.
Okay. Because, you know, 13 orphans is just too hard. Oh, killer up, not getting that. There we go. Okay. My guess, my actual numerical guess for Ganon's Tower Big Key is 1. I guess 1.
All right. Well, you do realize you're messing yourself out if we're playing Price is Right rolls, but
I don't care.
okay. All right. Well,
I
most of
don't
us
care.
All right. Well, we're both basically banking on Hope Room here, so that's the first
Sure.
room to the right that has the 2 chests where you really hope to find the big key.
Do you know why I say 1? Because KillerApp has had some real horseshoe up the posterior routing here tonight. Oh, maybe I'm realizing the last item has to be on Trinex. And this really hurts to watch KillerApp getting into Ganon's Tower before homemadebeer is even done with Turtle Rock. And there it is! Okay, I got a key. It was a key.
2 small keys.
2 small keys.
We're going to go ahead and go over right side to compass room.
Hey, if you put 2 small keys together, does that make a big one?
Nope, just makes 2 small keys.
Well, why not?
They're a medium-sized key.
1 medium-sized key? What does a medium-sized key open?
2 chests.
Really?
We're just making up code now.
We roll with it, man. It's like the kayfabe.
All right, here we go. Chest 3, 4, 5, and 6. We've got heart container, small boomerang, 20 rupees, 10 arrows. KillerApp not even interested in going 1 room further to get an extra small key. Gonna go straight down to torch. Torch is gonna be number 7 for us.
Oh,
got the map.
There was a key in... I didn't actually commit to memory what was on the torch in Desert Palace. Were the boots even necessary?
I don't think so.
Homemadebeer is going to Ice Palace now, probably because he feels way behind and needs to make a play.
Yep. Piece of heart 8, shield 9, key 10, number 11, 10 arrows. Our hunt's going to continue. Double firebar room is going to be number 12 here. Just some bombs. So we'll continue to fire snake room for our 13th check.
Homemadebeer, I found a big key. It's not the right one, but, you know, it's a big key. You got it.
Can be the right key if you EG over to GT. Alright, just 3 bombs in number 13, so we will continue on to Randomizer room.
Well, looks like KillerApp's luck has finally run out. It was only a matter of time.
Alright, 14, 15, 16, 17 coming up, and they are 5 rupees, 10 arrows, the compass, 50 rupees. So we are going to keep going. Number 18 is going to be Bob's chest.
Goes by Robert now.
Yes. Yes, but good news is he will still remain there because we did not bonk the item off the torch.
Where do you think Bob goes when you bonk the torch? What do you think his deal about that torch is? Go ahead, make up a Bob story.
Well, he has to go and put something else on it, so he leaves the room for the time being.
I like that.
All right, small key number 18. You notice there that Bob got powdered, so he went over to the other side of the room. Stay away from that powder. Armos on ice. 6 silver arrows. Gonna take care of this real quick. Number 19, bombs, 20, The net 21.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my goodness!
There we
tile
got
room.
a tile room. Oh, hooray! Oh, we do tile. So, I had a thought, but I lost it.
Well, I'll go ahead and congratulate Brawler 1337, who was the first to say 22, and finally called it.
Someone always calls 22.
That's
in the hopes
right.
That one, yeah.
And today is that person's day. So
That is
GG's,
correct.
GG's to you, Brawler. You get a lifetime supply of randomizer seeds, redeemable at ALTTPR.com.
I say you give him a real prize. You give Brawler a real prize right now.
Okay, I've got a 10 rupee note from India. How's that?
That is fake. You don't have that. The 10 rupee note from India?
Yeah, I've been to India, so it's worth about 30 cents.
Not bad. It's money. It's a novelty in the continental North America. You know?
All right, homemade beer pulling a big 20 off of Cold Stare again. Probably very frustrated that none of his plays have been working out for him, and is probably getting to the realization that he's going to have to go ahead and go into Swamp Palace, and is probably losing hope that this is going to work out for him.
Indeed, and well, probably KillerApp might actually be done before that is all over. This is the green pendant turn, in which we know will do nothing. There is nothing left to find. There is nothing left to find. We found everything. Every single item has been accounted for. Okay, a couple of bottles, maybe. That's the best thing it could be.
Art container.
Heartbreaking. Ironically, heartbreaking.
Yep, KillerApp working on the climb now, using that fire rod to excellent use there, getting rid of those skeletons. Oh, Beer's doing this. Beer's doing the Smith sequence now. Anything to avoid the Swamp Palace, I think, at this point is what he's going for.
Yeah, and pretty much anything to avoid the thing where you have to go, because that's he needs to gamble.
Yeah, it's that kind of that old theory is if the answer is Swamp Palace, I've already lost, and so I'm not going to do Swamp Palace.
Yeah. Man, this seed has some really heavy bait if you get to those Titans mid at a bad time, which is exactly what happened to homemade beer.
Yep.
Finding those Titans mid is, at that point in time, probably one of the worst things that could have happened. Then having Bombos be the medallion for Misery Meyer just really set him down this path, and it's just been so hard to watch.
I mean, if the Bombos Medallion and Ether today had swapped chests, then they would probably be both in GT doing the climb right now.
Well, possibly, but homemade beer has not had, well, Ether, yeah. Did you say Ether or Quake?
No, Ether. So Ether and Bombos Medallion swap chests, to where they both go into it and they have the Bombos that they need to get into Misery Meyer straight off. Then both these runners are here in GT at the same time.
Right.
So
Ether was on Hobo. That's right. Yeah. So Bombos was there. This would be Yeah,
and so homemade beer doesn't go into Turtle Rock and waste all that time, and instead is able to go right to Misery Meyer and finish it out.
Yeah. And homemade beer is gonna go ahead and do Swamp Palace right after this purple chests.
Meanwhile, KillerApp doing some agonometry here.
Triangle Man, his person, man. They have a fight, but Triangle Man does not win.
I love that Ganon text. Alright, 12 slashes to get us through phase 1. We're going to do another 12 slashes to get through the fire bat phase. Using that blue cane to allow some more slashes, but increase the lag by about 30 times.
Yeah, it's not fun doing that.
But we made it in one cycle, so now we got the teleport phase.
And the rest is just academic.
Yep, we got the silvers, so we'll light the torches and we'll hope for a couple of doubles, maybe a triple.
Four times. There's one. Oh, that's not a great spot, but second side is a second shot. Number 3.
Yep, and just one more light, we should do it.
KillerApp could have had that. But it's all good. It's all done.
There goes Ganon.
And get your GGs in for that. Excuse me. Get your good games in chat for KillerApp, who is going to cross the bridge and finish with an official race time, that GG time of 1:22:08. So good game for KillerApp.
And Homemade Beer is going to see the dot done here in race time GG and is going to immediately forfeit. Press F to pay the respects. And we are going to bring them in here for an interview. We are actually joined right now by KillerApp23, the winner of this race. GG's to you, KillerApp.
Hey, thank you very much, guys. That was a quick one.
Dude, if I could have half of your luck in half of the things I do in my life, I'll be okay. Jeez, dude.
I definitely felt good the first part of that race. Holding off on Eastern felt like a big play in my favor. Getting that bow early on.
Yeah, that was the start of the advantages you had. That was the start of the incredibly good luck you had. You were like literally sucking up all of Homemade Beer's luck. It's just misfortune after misfortune for him, and
yeah, this seed was an easy snowball seed for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're also joined by Homemade Beer here. GG's to you, Homemade Beer.
Hello, GG's.
Dude,
GG's,
never play the lottery.
No, okay, look. As soon as I found the mitts, I already knew I lost.
Yeah.
That was literally I was like, well, here are the mitts. They're pretty free. I knew I lost unless like Bombos was behind
You're
me.
the only person I know that could be like, oh, Mitts and Spike Cave, that's pretty free.
It kind of is if you do everything else, and it's your go mode.
Right.
Well, we were noting here that if just the Bombos and the Ether Medallion had been swapped either in their location or which places they opened up, it could have been a lot closer.
Yeah, maybe. I gotta go watch it back, but like I'm not really mad at the play. I think rushing Eastern is, I don't know. I could see anyone doing that, really.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's either way, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you have anything to be mad about, except like it just wasn't working for you. Just hit after hit, just not working out. It was, man.
Yeah. At no point did you make a bad decision. You just kept making the decisions that were not correct for this particular seed.
It was unbelievable. I was actually mad for you.
No, I mean, like, okay, when I found the Moon Pearl, I knew where the flippers were. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll get them when I need them. And, you know, if they don't block anything, great, good for me. Go mode swamp. We're done. But then I saw the red crystals and I thought, well, I could rush those and let me go do pod first at some point. But then before that, I was being like extra thorough. I'm like, well, if I go up the mountain with the mitts first, since I pulled that hook shot, I'm like, cool, I can get more checks like more efficiently. And then
and that was interesting because you guys were frame for frame on that hook shot acquisition. You were both at Bombos Tab at the exact same time.
Yeah, so that's why I knew I felt super behind.
Yeah, that was an easy play for me because I had not touched Desert. I knew the Flute was there, so I thought, well, mine goes ahead and easy routing to Hive Cave over to Bombos Tablet over to Desert, get that Flute.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Just one of those seeds.
Yeah, so it's like when I found the mitts, I knew I had lost unless they were blocking progression, and so I just chased them to the bitter end. And like I wasn't gonna make up enough time when I found those mitts to catch up, and I knew that. Like I just knew that. Like unless KillerApp did the same thing, which I doubt it. No one would play that as clown as I ended up playing it.
Yeah, no, we were sitting in here in the booth and we were thinking, it's like, yeah, you're trying to do everything except for swamp because you know that if the answer was swamp, then you've already lost.
Yeah, I mean, I already knew I lost when I found the mitts. Like that's how, because I had full cleared everything. I had full cleared the whole game before.
That's kind of the funny thing is you found the mitts first, so you were the first one to make it that up there and get into Spike Cave, but. It was just unfortunate that you went over there and you saw the ether on Turtle Rock, and we both knew that you were going into Turtle Rock looking for stuff, looking for Bombos Medallion.
Yeah, Fire Rod locked Bombos. Of course, you go to Turtle Rock, right? That's the meme.
Yeah, I would do the same thing in your position. Like I said, you didn't make a single bad play. It just didn't work out in any way, shape, or form. Like right from the beginning, it was just terrible luck the whole way through.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I know.
I think I had fun and I enjoyed the race. Like the seed was actually pretty fun. So, and I'm happy for KillerApp taking first in our group. Get to represent some Crystal Company in the brackets.
Right.
Yep. So again, condolences to you, Homemade Beer. Sorry that we couldn't go for the hype 3-way tiebreaker race between yourself, KillerApp.
Yeah, that would have been very exciting. That would have been very exciting. Oh, and this to top everything off, Big Key was in tile room today.
Oh yeah, you're not yelling at me because I've heard you say before, DJ. Oh, I'm always doing tile room with those two small keys on the right side.
No.
The two small keys. I only grabbed the one. I do go grab it here in a second just for funsies.
I do tile room if I find keys on the left and no keys in that room. But is that where you thought I was gonna yell at you? No, I was going to yell at you for having the horseshoe up your posterior, you know? That's really...
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
I pulled off a hover, though. That was fun.
That was cool.
That was very cool. That was super hype that you were able to hover over and get those silvers. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to say about the seed, about what happened just now?
I thought about the CAC play, too, early, because it... we had enough stuff to do whatever, like you'd normally do. But I'm like, well, we got the glove. I can go clown it up just a little bit here and then go to CAC like slightly later. And then found the bow and I'm like, great, this is nice. Yeah, I don't know, it was fun. That's all. It was a fun seed.
Yeah, thanks everybody in the group. There were some fun races. I don't know, some of the seeds are pretty awful, but yeah, I had a good time with this group. GG's to everyone, and congrats on Penny Royal for advancing as well.
Yeah. Repeating that, thanks everyone for putting this on, of course. And I don't remember something else I was going to say.
Well, thank you guys for racing. Put on a great show for all of us here today on Speed Gaming Sys. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and say, please, if you are not already following our two runners, that's Homemade Beer and KillerApp23. The link is in chat. Go in there and just click on their Twitch pages and give them a follow. Also, go ahead and follow my co-commentator, TJ Maelstrom. Thanks, TJ. It's been a great time commentating with you.
Thank you so much, Quizball. And let's not forget our excellent tracker today, Adalor. Did a fantastic job. Really putting me on the spot, corrected me whenever I had a problem. Just fantastic all around. Really appreciate that. So Thank you for doing the tracking for us.
Yep, and I'll also remind everyone, please go ahead and follow all of the entire family network of Speed Gaming channels. That's Speed Gaming, and then Speed Gaming 2 through 6, and then the foreign language restream versions, which is Speed Gaming Portuguese, Espanol, Francais, and Deutsch. But if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and end the stream here. So thanks again, everyone, for watching, and we will see you next mission.
Have a great day.